convincing the garrison to revolt against Governor Salcedo. Resistance to Casas's coup quickly developed among the local leadership, including Erasmo. In early March 1811, a large group of the town's leaders, led by Juan Manuel Zambrano and including Seguin, carried out a counter-revolt. Quickly, the town's leadership drew up a declaration of their loyalty and sent it to the royal authorities, wherever they could be found. And Erasmo signed it. On his report of events and how the junta came to take control, Zambrano singled out Erasmo, quote, "Likewise, we were greatly pleased with Don Erasmo Seguin, the postmaster of this capital, who knew to advise many of his friends and countrymen to come to the defense of the just cause, being, as we have said, one of the first to join in raising his voice against the insurgents." The junta's trust in Seguin is clear from the various assignments given him, including sending him and Lieutenant Miguel Diaz de Luna to Natchitoches, or Rapides, in Louisiana, in search of supplies for the troops stationed in San Antonio. Less than a month later, the junta informed Luna and Seguin that they were to remain in Natchitoches to assist Adjutant Inspector Cristobal Dominguez, who was in command there, because of the reports received of, quote, "movements that the Anglo-Americans are making against our possessions as a result of the insurrection in this kingdom." In other words, long before Anglo-Americans started arriving, both legally and illegally, there were fears in New Spain and there were fears among Tejanos that Anglo-Americans would invade and take over Texas. Which is another very interesting story where that came from, but we don't have time for it. So you can invite me back next year, we'll tell that story. Bejareños were, in fact, well aware of what had happened to the Spanish possessions east of the Mississippi. And although some might have favored a similar turn of events in Texas, as royal officials suspected, others were determined to prevent an American takeover. With the return of military commander Simon Herrera and Governor Salcedo, who had been arrested and sent south with other European Spaniards during the Casas episode, the junta disbanded, and for a few months, Seguin returned to full-time duties as postmaster. He was certainly doing well by his government position, so much so that in October 1811, Governor Salcedo, needing to place the position, quote, "in the hands of an individual combining the necessary circumstances and qualities for its legal exercise, he appointed Seguin interim representative of the royal monopolies for San Antonio." In other words, he had charge of most of the cash money that was available, public cash money available in San Antonio, because he controlled the government monopolies in playing cards, tobacco, and gunpowder. All right, and everybody needed those three things. And so he controlled quite a bit of cash. In August 1812, José Bernardo Gutiérrez de Lara and Augustus McGee began their campaign to remove Texas from viceregal control. After accepting Governor Manuel Salcedo's surrender at the beginning of the month, and on April 6, 1813, Gutiérrez de Lara and a group of local supporters issued a Declaration of Independence that promised that Texas would be part of the new Mexican nation. Gutiérrez de Lara, however, fell out of favor with his American supporters, and a professional revolutionary, a guy named José Álvarez de Toledo, replaced him in July, just in time to face the approaching Royalist army under Commandant General Joaquín de Arredondo at the Battle of Medina on August 18, 1813. Arredondo defeated the Republican Army of the North and restored Royalist rule in San Antonio. By early 1813, Texas was restored. All of Texas that was under Spanish control before was restored to royal control. A general pardon issued shortly thereafter for all but a handful of the rebel leadership provided some measure of relief for many. But the price of acknowledging insurgent sympathies was high. It is in this regard that Erasmo Seguin stands out. Safe in Nakatish,